Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Aurora and here I am to deliver you the weekly intuitive energy update for the week of May 31st, 2021. So this will be from May 31st to June 6th. Just mentioning that because we're in the middle, we're in this transition energy between the months this week, so that's something to keep in mind. So I'm just gonna give a little bit of a recap of last week, just so that we can understand the energies kind of that we're in. It's this portal energy, like it's this transition energy. So if we can understand what happened last week and what's kind of coming, we're kind of in the calm before the storm right now, right? So not that we got much calm, right? Like last week was all purging and whatnot, and this week it's just a little chill before we get blasted again next week. But it's good. It's all good. It's all good. So last week we had 3 planets in retrograde. One of them is Mercury, and it is communication, right? So I'm not sure what the other 2 are, because if you are new to my channel, I'm not an astrologer, but I do watch astrology and I do keep track just so that I can use my intuition to tap in and understand why what I'm picking up is resonating so deeply with the collective, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, 3 planets in retrograde. One is Mercury, which is communication. So there's been a lot around communication, and we went into Gemini season the week before, right? So, and Gemini is all about communication as well, right? So there's really this big opening around communication. And with, with Mercury being retrograde, there might be some glitches, I'm going to say. There's going to be things that are coming up, the shadow part of ourselves, so that we're able to nip it in the bud and move forward, so we don't constantly have this energy that we don't want or that isn't serving us keep coming into our world and shifting things that we don't want. So if we can nip it in the bud now, that's really what it's being asked. Communication is really, really big, right? So then we also have the lunar eclipse. We had the lunar eclipse and Mercury retrograde, right? So the lunar eclipse was this big portal. It was a big purge center point where we were basically pushed through the birthing canal of this higher consciousness. And it's like, I guess I'm being shown now, like the first week after you have a child, where you're in full repair mode, right? You and the baby are connecting. You're at home, you're focusing on your heart center, your relationship with this new baby, right? You are that baby, you are that mother, right? So simultaneously, if you are going through, like today, it's 5 o'clock and I'm just recording this video right now, and I just wasn't feeling it today, like I know I've had a lot going on and whatnot, so now I'm finally like, oh, I can breathe, right? And that's kind of the energy this week is just like, oh, I can breathe, but it's also paired with some lethargy and some lack of energy, because we aren't reminding ourselves that this is the transition phase that we're in. So it's like my mind is like, woo, I want to do so much, but my body's like, ugh. So it's like finding that balance of like, okay, prioritizing what I need and taking action where I need as well, right? So I did some gardening. That's why you guys can see my dirty hands. That's why my hands are all dirty, because I was gardening and I was prioritizing doing what I want to do, but also knowing that I have responsibilities, right? So it's finding that balance. But yeah, so this is really about connecting to the heart space. So that last push that we did last week, that lunar eclipse, this is the beginning of eclipse season. So next week, we're going to be having a solar eclipse, okay? So this will be a whole nother portal that's going to be opening, right? So basically an eclipse, right? Like what happens during an eclipse is because the sun and the moon are passing through each other and they're aligning, it actually creates this portal. So right here, when they're perfectly aligned during that moment of the eclipse, whether solar or lunar, it's opening up a portal, an energy portal, right? So when I'm talking about these portals, it's just like an influx of energy, right? Like don't get lost in the language. or in being like, what is she going on about? It's just an influx of energy. So, which means that we have access to this energy, right? So, we are energy, that is energy. How can we utilize the two and get the best out of the energy, right? And so that's what's going on here. We have this portal coming, we have this portal there, and we're literally in the middle of it, right? So this week is going to be calm, like there's not a lot of head chatter necessarily. It's not like, because this last moon that we had, it was a massive purge and a massive cleanse, right? So I don't know about you, but for me, I'm in a complete different physical environment now, right? So I have, in this last week, I knew there was big closes coming. I knew there was big shifts, relationship, environment, job, like everything shifting. And now here I am, and I'm exhausted. So I have to sit with that and understand, oh, this is the energy because this is literally what's going on with the collective, right? So one of my favorite quotes is that life is an analogy for our soul, right? So whatever's going on in our life is literally mirroring to us our communication with our soul. It's whether or not we want to access and actually accept that information. So the more and more you can acquaint with that saying, hopefully you can integrate it into your being and into your reality so that you can utilize that and really understand like how your external reality and your internal reality are so intertwined, and how you can create harmony between the two of them so that you feel aligned, so that you feel in flow, so you can live from your heart space, so you can live in alignment with integrity, so on and so forth, right? So we're really in this energy of like the past being shed and entering into our new earth self, our higher self, our highest self, okay? So be gentle with yourself. Allow for yourself to do nothing. Allow for yourself to rest, okay? Because next week when we have the solar eclipse, it's going to be a lot of quick energy, okay? So we're going from that lunar eclipse portal of deep, deep purging, cleansing, purifying into this kind of window this week of, a little bit of uncomfortability, but for the most part, we're pretty good with where we're at. It's just like weird, I think. Like, I think a lot of us are going to be feeling weird, I think is the best word to put on it. Just weird because of all the transitions and all the change, and we're reacquainting with what's really going on. And a lot of us too are seeing the world open up, and I'm from Canada and everything's still closed down. So it's like there's a lot of discord around like the narrative that's been going on, and I think there's going to be some type of announcement coming out soon around the truth, because it's just that time. I just feel it in my being, and I just, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see, and to observe the unfoldment of all the global events. So that's why it is so important right now to really anchor into your body, really anchor into your practices, have your tool belt ready for your emotional needs, your mental needs, your physical needs, everything. Make sure that you're taken care of so that when everything starts falling around us, which a lot of people think it already is falling around us, but it's not. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more transitions going on. There's a lot more implementation of new that is coming that we aren't aware of right now. So just prepare yourself. Just really connect to your body. Make sure you have, this is why, friendships right now, we're purifying them, and we're really going through this portal of like, okay, is this person serving me or is this not? Because I just can't freaking deal with bullshit anymore. So either it's serving me or it's not, and that's that. It's no hard feelings. This person that doesn't resonate with you any longer doesn't mean they're a bad person, doesn't mean this, doesn't mean you're this or that or whatever. It's just like, hey, we're here to ascend human consciousness. So I just don't want to sit in this frequency anymore, and I'm going to rise above and let go and move forward and start new friendships that totally align with every single aspect of your new being, right? Because that's what's happening right now is all these higher conscious beings. We're connecting, guys. We're connecting, we're connecting, we're connecting. This is why it's so important right now to connect to ourselves, so that once we start opening up and overflowing, we can access more people. And then we're all taken care of, and all of us have a solid foundation, because that's what we are each responsible for. Okay? Wow, this is cool. I love it. Okay, so that's really all I want to say. Like, astrologically, I don't really have too much this week, and I didn't, because I've been so busy. I also haven't spent too much time like listening to astrology videos and stuff like that. So that's all that I really have for the astrology portion. But I have so much more intuitive messages, and then I have 3, 6, 7 decks right here, just waiting for me to play with them to bring the energies through. So I think that's how this week's gonna go, because I just didn't really feel like preparing too much, and yeah, like, just the information will just flow, and I trust that, right? Awesome. Okay, cool. So one of the bigger lessons this week is going to be deep reflection. Okay, so looking at how far you've come and all that you've accomplished. Okay, because this is something we forget all the time, because we're always looking forward, looking forward, looking forward. They say don't look back, but here I am saying, hey, yo, look back, check out what's behind you, make sure that you're actually integrating the lessons that you've been through, so that you don't have to keep manifesting the lessons through different people. Okay, so deep reflection, like deep reverence for yourself, and deep be proud of yourself for everything that you've come through. Like, really look at yourself like a friend at this time, like really like sit in the mirror and go, wow, look at everything you've done, look at everything you've accomplished. We're ready to, we've purged, we've cleansed, we've healed, we've cried, we've done so much, and now we're ready to elevate to that next level, right? So that's really the whole purpose of this deep reflection, is to see, okay, where have I been, where have I gone, what have I loved, what have I not loved, what served me, what is not, and then from this space start manifesting forward. So say you've had a lot of shitty friends, oh my god, like, why can nobody show up for me the way that I feel like I show up for them? Okay, so cutting those people out of your life. It could be a mother, it could be a father, it can be anybody, brother, sis. It could be family that you're needing to cut out. But the point is look at the deep reflection. Like, look at how far you've come. Look at the relationship that you've cultivated with these people, and start asking yourself why the fuck you've been dealing with it. Why do I keep manifesting this? Why do these people keep coming into my life? Why is this happening? Because this week is the moment forward, is our choice point. Choice point, choice point, choice point, okay? We're being welcomed into 5D, New Earth, right now. And it's through raising our individual consciousness. It has nothing to do with anything spiritual. It's all about being conscious. That's all it is, okay? So when we can bring our unconscious to the conscious, and we can see it for what it is, and we can cut through the illusion, and we can see the truth, and we can know the truth, and we can anchor in all these lessons, we are able to move forward with such clarity, with such precision, with such speed, with such intention, because we know we've cleared our vessel, we've been filling our vessel, and then it starts flowing, it starts overflowing. We create this toroidal field, and as we create this toroidal field of energy, we're opening up our heart center, we're expanding all of our chakras, so we're actually allowed to have life force energy flowing through our body. Okay, so this is why it's so important to make sure that right now, who is in your energy? Who has your energy? What is going on when you lay your head on that pillow at night? If that's the only time that you can access these feelings, then use that time. That's your time for deep reflection. If your days are too busy until you get to, put your head on the pillow, then take that time to really purge. You don't have to write everything down. You can be laying in bed before you fall asleep, that's your perfect time to really focus on everything you've overcome and everything that you have accomplished. And just ask for the universe to purify whatever lessons and whatever energies are still in your field that you don't want. You ask the angels, you ask your higher self, you ask the universe. You have to ask, you have to put that intention out to the universe in order to receive that back to you. Okay? Because you only get what you give. All right. So that's really, really important. So no excuses on that deep reflection. And I mean, hey, if you want to create excuses, that's perfectly fine. No problem. Because then the next time we have some type of transit or energy that's supporting us in this way, we'll just deal with them then. Right. So it's not like, you're always in the right place at the right time. There's no problem if you don't get to things at this time. I'm just here to show you the energy that is present right now and what opportunities you do have in that energy, right? So yeah, deep reflection, guys. Like, sit down. It's like midway through the year now. We're hitting our midway mark. Cool, that just came through. I didn't even realize that. So this is our midway mark, and we're 6 months in. We got 6 months to go. So it's like, what seeds have you planted this year? What have you been doing all year? Where's your energy been? Where have you been focusing? And if it's been sporadic, if it's been ungrounded, if it's been, whatever it's been, and if you don't want that anymore, then this is your choice point forward. I mean, you have a choice point. Every moment is a new choice point, right? So it's your choice if you want to go through and anchor in the higher frequency of being conscious and aware of that pattern, or if you want to sweep it under the rug a little bit longer and keep living that unconscious pattern. It's not good, it's not bad. Sometimes in my lifetime, the unconscious pattern has served me. A lot of the time, like, here's an example. If you're in a situation that isn't serving you, say you're in an abusive relationship, or you're in a relationship that you're not getting treated properly, or there is some type of turmoil, and you're like, I don't know how the fuck to get out of here. You have to fall back into those unconscious patterns to keep yourself safe before you can receive the messages to know, what the fuck do I do next. The first thing is acknowledging to your own personal self, I need out. I'm not safe. I can't be doing this anymore. I need to get out and find that strength within yourself, but patience, paired with patience, because if it's not something that's hasty, this is the energy right now. It's like there's no quick decision making. It's literally like, slow down and really analyze, like, contemplate, look back. I mean, don't even just reflect on the last 6 months, guys. Like, reflect on your whole life. Look at the patterns, look at the energy that you've lived in, like, what is it and how is it that you don't want to embody that moving forward? Like, what aspects do you want to embody? And then focus on that embodiment. Say you haven't been in alignment with your integrity. And this was a big lesson for me when I first started my journey. I was like, oh, well, I'm so out of alignment with my integrity, I don't even know how the fuck to get back here. And the word integrity used to make me cringe because I knew that I wasn't in alignment with my highest path. And now, of course, I know there's no problem with us not being in alignment with our integrity, because it's just showing us our values and our lessons that we need, right? So for me, a big one was integrity. And so now I'm in full alignment with my integrity. I walk in alignment with my integrity, with my truth, and I'm able to really embody that in every moment, because I know, because I've purified, because I've cleansed, because I've had the courage to say, hey, I'm not in alignment with my integrity. I'm not in alignment with myself, and I'm not in alignment with my truth. And saying that gave me the space to make the change to get back in alignment. And a lot of the time, we don't even know what the hell that means. We don't even know what that means. What is alignment for me? What does that look like? What does that feel like? I don't know, right? And that's where somebody like a spiritual coach or somebody can come in and help you to unpack your belief system, where they've already been through the process. So allow somebody in to help you through that process to unravel. Okay, so you don't always have to do it on your own. You can do it on your own. There's nothing wrong with that. But I know that for me personally, a lot shifted for me when I was able to as I have a throat chakra clear. Ask for help. I wasn't able to ask for help. I didn't know how. So this week is just like, ask for help. Put it out there to the universe. You don't know. Okay? So there's a lot of energy around, focusing on reprogramming us into an abundance mindset. Okay? So that's what all this is setting us up for. Why are we reflecting? Why are we really, setting our intention? It's because we're focusing on reprogramming into an abundance mindset. Okay? And all that means is that we aren't coming from lack anymore. Everything's taken care of. We know that we're supported. Things like that, If you're like, oh, I don't feel safe. Oh, I don't feel supported. This is where the work is for you, okay? So this week, give yourself the space. Give yourself the time. Reflect. Why don't I feel supported? Maybe you moved around a lot as a kid. Maybe your mom had a lot of partners in and out of the picture. And, you didn't have as good of a connection with your mom as you would really like. Really get honest with yourself and really say, this is why I am the way I am. And it's going to hurt sometimes, but that hurt is actually what we need to sit with so that we can heal it. Because if we keep poking at a wound without putting any ointment on it or any salve or anything that's going to help it, and we just keep letting dirt get in it, it's not going to heal. We have to give it the attention. We have to give it the love. And so this week is in this like calm energy that we're entering into. Use it. Enjoy it. Really just be with yourself, okay? And just be proud. And yeah, so focusing on reprogramming into abundance. So no more lack and no more fear. Okay? We are abundant. We are limitless beings in a limitless reality, right? Okay, there's this sense of optimism and hope from last week as well. So as much as there's like a lot of energy going around, with this deep reflection, it's like we feel there's like, oh, interesting, cool. So we're grounding into our body more and more every day. So as we're grounding into our body, and that's what all of these practices are, of clearing our energy, of eating proper food, of exercising, of drinking our water, of making sure we get enough sleep. All these things are giving us that stability. That's what we're looking for. We want stability. We want to know that we're going to be provided. Well, we also have to detach from our expectations around how we think we are provided for, because there's going to be a lot going on. So I'm being guided to just tell you guys to tap into your 0 point frequency. And all that means, your heart center is your 0 point frequency. It's neutrality, okay? So when we can tap into neutrality, when we're not swayed from one way or the other, and we can look at it from a sheer observer perspective, then we're able to make decisions from that space, and we're not up here and we're not too much in here. It's neutrality. So it'd almost be like here, which is cool, because if you're going to flip this to this would be the center point, right? And that's your throat. So it's like speaking that truth, right? So entering into neutrality, okay? So and all I mean by that is, like, I'm not saying don't have expectations. I'm saying don't get attached to the expectations. Don't get attached to how you think things are supposed to unfold, or like, don't feel like you're the one holding the whole universe together, because newsflash, darling, you're not. And thank God, because literally thank God, because you don't need to. Let go of that control. Surrender. Really come into your heart space. Really know that, at the end of the day, like, in order for us to survive, we don't really need, much food and much water. It's all in how much energy we're expending through worry, through our mind, through all aspects, Like, so how are we expending that energy? And how can we really come into neutrality in a space of, like, filtering through information without being reactive all the time? Because when you're reactive all the time, it's absolutely exhausting. So, full circle thought here. We are entering into this sense of optimism and hope, and this is stemming from last week. This is stemming from our full purge from last week, okay? From that solar eclipse, or sorry, lunar, full moon lunar eclipse. That's why we're feeling this sense of lightness, of hope. And that's why it's so important to reflect right now, guys, because we're really proud of ourselves. We're like in this energy of, wow, I've come so far and I can't believe that I'm still here and I'm still alive and I'm actually doing pretty damn amazing. So, and if you're not, these are for people that are going to resonate with this energy, with this frequency. When I talk about collective, I'm more tapping into the collective that my consciousness connects to. Now, yes, there's so many different, of course we only have one collective, but there's different levels of consciousness to that collective, right? So a lot of what I'm talking about when I'm talking to people about my collective energy updates and whatnot, I'm talking to the people that are going to resonate with this video, that are going to sit here for the full hour, that are dedicated to really opening up and expanding and wanting to really live in alignment with their soul, with their purpose, with what they're here for. Right? So when I'm talking about this collective energy, I am talking about the ones that are in our collective energy, if that makes sense. I will specify if I'm not, because a lot of the time I'll say, there's this divide between the conscious and the unconscious. And a lot of the time when I am talking to you here watching this video, it is our collective consciousness, the collective consciousness of the higher consciousness. And so I just wanted to say that so that people understand what I'm talking about, because I know that it gets really confusing. Like, spirituality is a whole new realm for people, right? So, and on top of that, it's even more confusing because it's elusive, right? So how do you really know what information you're getting is the correct information? This is why it's so important to tap into your intuition, into your heart center. I will always say it forever and always, like a broken record. Listen to your intuition forever and always. That gut feeling that humans talk about, that's your soul, that's your spirit, okay? That's your spirit guiding you through your own physical body. It's pretty cool, really. Okay. This is a perfect connection because we have emotional understanding. So there's going to be some really deep emotional understanding. And this is where that calm is really going to benefit us, because a lot of us have experienced a lot of trauma in our lifetime around being manipulated or being abused. Through our emotions and through our mental body. So they play games, okay? And so this is all going to really come to a deep soul understanding within you, okay? As to why it had to happen and why it did happen. And resentment and the pain are going to dissipate this week with these higher understandings. So we are actually opening up our heart more. So when I say we're connecting to our heart in that 0 point frequency, what's going to stop you from connecting to that is your trauma around your heart. So that's why I was bringing up your parents, or siblings or family or partners or abuse or trauma, because these are all things that stop us, that block us from accessing our pure heart. Okay? So this week, with this calm, surrender, acceptance energy, there's going to be deep emotional understanding, and it's going to help us reconnect back to our innocence. Because if you think about it, probably whatever it is that's blocking your heart was something that stripped you of your innocence. Now, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It doesn't have to be anything big. Now, if it is, It will be obvious to you. I'm just saying this for the people that are like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Aurora, but I'll try to understand, you know? Like, it could be like you had an emotionally unavailable father. He was always there. He was there at breakfast. He'd pour his coffee. He'd read his newspaper. But I'd wake up and say good morning, and it was like I wasn't even there. You know, it could be something like that. And that can strip your innocence too, because then you attract a partner that isn't emotionally available. And then you deal with the same thing over and over and over again. And that little girl inside you or little boy just wants to be heard, just wants to be seen, just wants to be held, just wants to be touched. Okay? Just wants to be told, I love you. So it's about reconnecting to that little girl or little boy and letting them know that they're safe. And when you tell that little girl or that little boy that they're safe, you're going to watch your entire world, your entire reality shift because you are safe. Okay? So, wow, that was a big one. So, we're also going to be removing separation from our heart and our mind, which is why I was talking about coming back to neutrality, right? So we remove that separation. Okay? So we have the, you know, even just good, bad, any duality, any polarity, any separation, we are removing that separation so that we can allow a deeper connection to ourselves, which is going to allow for consciousness to flow through us. So that toroidal field that I was talking about before, about when we start opening up our chakras and energy can start flowing. What happens when it leaves, when it goes out of us, it comes right back into us. And it creates this flow. Okay? So, as we remove the separation, as we come more into our neutrality, as we connect deeper to love and understanding and compassion and start breaking these walls around our heart space down and have deeper emotional understanding and remove the separation, is going to allow for us to have a deeper connection, right? So back to the relationships, right? So when I was saying there's going to be some purging of relationships and cleansing and purifying and really like reconnecting to why, reconnecting to your why. Why am I in this relationship? Why do I have this partner? It could be a friendship. It could be a job. It can be whatever, because we are in relation to everything. Okay? So it's like reconnecting to your connections and why you're connecting. And this is too how we can become aware of our subconscious. Say you're with a partner because you're afraid to be alone, or you don't know how to do it alone. You don't know how to be alone. You don't know how to do anything by yourself. So you're with this partner and you're settling, and they don't deserve that on top of, for one, and neither do you. So why don't we clear that unconscious behavior so you don't spend the rest of your life being codependent on someone because you're afraid to be alone, right? So it's things like that. And you can't live in a fifth dimensional reality if you're still stuck in your third dimensional stuff, right? So that's really the whole point. When I say 3D, I'm talking about our trauma, our patterns, whatever it is, our experiences. We can't live in this higher consciousness with our heart broken, because we're not going to trust people. We're not going to trust our intuition. We're not going to trust ourselves. We're not going to know who we can connect with and who we can't. Okay? And that's when things happen, where we get manipulated or we get controlled, right? So this goes really, really deep. So we're removing that separation. We're unifying that separation so that we can allow for the consciousness to flow through us. Okay? And the observer role. So we're rebooting the heart, as I've been talking. So we're rebooting the heart, and in order for that, we become the observer. We become our higher selves, okay? So we tap into this higher perspective, this higher level of consciousness, so that we can connect to compassion, so we can connect to understanding. And I'm not saying that, we've been victim to so much, and I'm not saying make any excuses for any behavior. It's just like have some understanding, because having resentment and shame and anger, and mind you, none of these feelings are wrong, but you don't need to carry them, right? You don't need to feel that. You are a brilliant being of light that has come here for such a big purpose to help raise human consciousness, for humanity, for all of the cosmos, okay? So I want you to know how loved you are, and that you're here for something far greater than to be stuck in guilt and shame and fear and to be manipulated and to be controlled and to have all your life force energy sucked out of you. You deserve so much more than that. So I think it's time that we get out of that victim role. We come to these higher perspectives. We listen to our heart. We tap in. We honor all of our experiences, because if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be who we are. And it's really that simple. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And if you're the perpetrator of anything, I talk about victim, but if you're the perpetrator, you also have so much healing to do. But that's exactly why us victims have so much compassion for the perpetrator, because we know that they're victims too. And that's higher consciousness. Higher consciousness is understanding that hurt people hurt people. People that are healed and whole are not going to hurt you. They want to love you. They want to give to you. They want to give you opportunity that will allow for you to thrive. That's what we want. We want to see you grow. We want to see you expand. We'll still have jealousy or envy or whatever emotion that it is to be human, in other situations, but we got to learn to trust, and we got to learn to connect, and we got to know who we can trust and who we can connect with, because there's going to be some shit going down real soon that is going to shake our foundation. Like we thought 2020 was intense, guys. We haven't even seen anything yet. Okay? So just connect to yourself, connect to the universe, connect to your purpose, connect to your heart, connect to the ones around you. Okay? It's so important. So important. Okay. And then I have, so then just to polish this off, and then I'll start pulling some cards. I have the last thing is for the next 3 weeks, we will be focusing on our home, our connection, our community, our relationships, and our heart-centered. Home, connection, community, relationships, heart-centered. Because we're entering into the 5th dimension. There's so much higher consciousness being showered on us right now. And so we're just being asked to slow down, to reflect, to see where you've come, to be proud of yourself, to honor yourself, and to really ask yourself, what do you want moving forward? Because you will have it and you can have it. So it's up to you. So good. It's going to be a really good week, guys. It's going to be a really, really good week. We might have moments where we are not wanting to do things. Example, me today. But we know what we are responsible for. We know what we have to do. So you have to prioritize. You have to do what you have to do. And there's some things that we think we have to do that we don't. So it's about really connecting to yourself to know, do I really need to do this right now, or can it wait? Right? And asking for more magic. More magic, because it's really easy to connect and plug into the flow of the universe right now. Like I said, because there's so much energy being showered on us, right? So we have to be open to receive these high frequencies, and then boom, 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 revelation after revelation, meet people, right place, right time. If that's your belief, I always say I'm always at the right place at the right time. My really good friend, when I was a teenager, he used to always tell me that I had a horseshoe up my ass, because like, well, how do you have such good luck? What the heck, and whatever. I'm like, I don't know, it's just me, it's what I do, and it's just really funny. And because now that I'm a conscious creator of my reality, I know that I manifested all those amazing things happening, or people giving me stuff, or being here and getting something free, or just meeting really cool people, or whatever it is. It's just like I've always had that flow, right? So it's like once you can tap into that flow, oh my God, it's so much fun because it's like you're one with the universe. Everything happens perfectly. Everything is divine, right? So yeah, so once we can like let go of all things that are holding us down and we can get into that flow state, my God, that heart naturally expands because it's liberating. You get high on life. It's just so enjoyable. You feel joy. Like if you haven't felt joy, that could be your focal point. What fills you up, you know? Okay, done blabbing right now. Done blabbing. Let me just tap in and see. Okay, we're gonna go from this one first, actually. I'm so excited because I'm back home and I have all my decks. I've been going on like the 6 decks. Kyle had some decks too, but the 6 decks for like 6 months, and I was just so excited. And then I got home and I realized I let my sister borrow some, so I don't have all of them, but it's okay. Alright, so I'm just going to close my eyes here. I'm going to clear my energy. So that's what this is. I'm just clearing the energy from the cards. I am infusing my energy and my higher self and the collective of everyone that's going to be joining this video into this deck. And I'm just going to ask for one card because these cards are activation cards, and I know that it's going to give us a lot of information from the one card. So I'm just asking for our higher selves to work together to give us that one collective card for this week, the week of May 31st into June. May 31st into June. Perfect, guys. Grounding. And it was reversed. I picked it up reversed, okay? Okay. Cool. So here we are. We're talking about grounding. And it's very common, very normal, when people think about grounding to ground down. So what I invite you to do is learn how to ground to a 0 point frequency. Okay? And what I mean by that is just like grounding to nothing. You know, like if we ground to the earth, so okay. We're basically entering a galactic level of consciousness, and all that means is it's beyond our planet. So we are connecting to galactic. So before, when we were working on our lower chakras, our base, sacral and solar plexus as a collective, we were trapped in the third dimension because these are our third dimensional chakras. Then we have the heart, which is the Vesica Pisces, the portal. And then these are our higher chakras, our spiritual chakras. Okay, so this connects us above and beyond, out of our body. Okay, so when we can connect to 0 point, which is our heart, then that means we don't connect to the earth. Because when we astral project, when we start getting into these higher levels of consciousness, we don't need to ground to the earth. We have to ground to our own body, our own reference point of consciousness within the sea of consciousness, because we're being upgraded beyond the level of the third dimension. So wow, like if people are watching this right now, kudos to you, because this is very, very highly evolved information. So when we can learn to ground into our 0 point, because when we're connecting, grounding to the earth, we're still grounding to that spot within the cosmos. But when we can connect to that 0 point, we are the reference point, which means you don't get disoriented when you don't know where Earth is. You don't get disoriented because you are your reference point, always, forever. You don't get disoriented because you're not attached to anything. You know your frequency, you know your vibration, you know your consciousness, and you can move everywhere and anywhere. Okay? So that's really cool. Another thing that I recommend, if you don't understand this whole 0 point frequency right now, that's totally okay. That heart centered. If you don't understand what the heck I'm going on about, I'm inviting you to ground up. Because all these frequencies are coming through at this time, ground to your higher self, ground up to your higher self. Because as you ground up to your higher self, you're raising your consciousness, your level of consciousness to these higher frequencies, these higher realms, and you're pulling in these frequencies into your body so that your physical vessel gets an upgrade. Okay? So this grounding, and it's reversed, right? So that's why I'm being so guided to tell you guys to start grounding to your soul frequency. Okay? Start grounding up, start grounding to your 0 point, start grounding out, start taking up space. Now, mind you, I'm not saying don't ground down because we have to be in our body as well. This is very, very, very important. But what your grounding looks like in your physical body is not a downward energy, like a downward energy with your intention. It's eating nourishing foods, drinking water, getting your sleep. Sorry, I was like, what else? Exercising. Like, those are your keys to grounding in your body. You can do as much energy work. You can think that you're doing everything with your mind, but at the end of the day, help your body help you. You know? Like, give it what it needs, okay? So that's how we'll ground into our physical body, is through nourishing our body. But how we're going to ground into our spiritual endeavors is through our intention, is through, and when we ground physically through food, water, exercise, and sleep, then our physical body is already optimally functioning. And we don't have to worry about that. So then we are safe in our body. Our body feels safe. And then we can leave it. But what we're all used to is leaving our body because we don't feel safe. Okay? So this week, like, we're safe, guys. You got to remind yourself over and over that we're safe. We're safer than we've ever been. All right? We can speak our truth. We can stand in our power. We can fight. We can stand up for a purpose, for what we believe in. But we have to be grounded, and we have to know what we're doing. If we want to make a change in this world, we have to be conscious. We've tried the unconscious game for a long time. So now we're grounding into these higher frequencies of consciousness, and it's going to blow our minds, which I'm so excited for. Awesome. Okay, I think I'm just going to pull like one out of each deck because I'm really enjoying having all these decks here. So this next one I'm going to pull from is the Power of Love. And then after that, I'm going to pull from the Soul's Journey lesson cards. Okay, just so that I didn't have to do that in the... Wow! This one wanted to come right out. Forgiveness. You are now able to activate the power of love in order to release past hurts. Guys, I just said that. Aww, I love it. That fills my heart because you know what, guys? We don't have to hurt. We don't have to keep hurting from people that hurt us or even people that didn't mean to hurt us, you know? Like, it's time. We're being so supportive. And in order for us to move forward, we have to forgive. We have to clear our heart. Spontaneity, you move beyond the constraints of the mind and freely and lovingly embrace new situations. I love it. We'll get one more from the Power of Love, just because they're super simple little cards and I just love them. Nice. Creativity. You love to devise new ideas, innovations, and forms of illumination. So, this is how we can transmute these energies, right? This is how we can ground our forgiveness and our spontaneity into our physical, which is being creative, guys. Like, this can be through even the way that you put your milk and creamer in your coffee in the morning. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't need to be anything like an art piece or anything. It doesn't need to be music. It doesn't need to be, it's just like, get creative with your mind. Start allowing for your creativity to flow, because that's where you're going. Like, how are you going to be the creator of your reality if you're not a creator? If you don't use your creativity. So it's about activating that life force within you to emit that frequency, right? So that's really beautiful, really, really beautiful. And we'll be able to access more of our creativity through the act of forgiveness, because we can connect to our innocence, we can connect to our heart center, right? So that's really, really, really amazing. Okay, now this is the Soul's Journey lesson cards. And again, I'm just calling in our higher selves here to pull the card, the lesson that we need for this week of May 31st, 2021. All right, let's see. This one. Patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. That's perfect. That's beautiful. I love it. And this is connecting to your higher self. Yeah. My higher self has said to me patience for years. And I mean, I think that's just part of being human. You know, like, I think we're just impatient, and we live in a world of literally instant gratification everywhere you look. So, I mean, like, if you don't live all your successes of your life in one day, well, congratulations to life. You gotta be patient. You gotta let that shit come. You gotta focus on forgiving. You gotta focus on being spontaneous. You gotta focus on grounding down, up, all around, into your body, into your home frequency, and getting creative. Getting creative. So, guys, this week, I'm just gonna say this: forgiveness for your own emotional liberation. It's only within, guys. You don't have to go to anybody and say, I forgive you, unless you're guided to. It's all an inside journey, okay? So, forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. And you are now able to activate the power of love in order to release past hurts. I love it. All right, we got a mermaid deck here. And then I'm going to do the White Light Oracle guidebook. Well, that's the guidebook, but the White Light Oracle deck. And then I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy your week. I have really, really good feelings. I'm really, really excited. My creativity's through the roof. I have so many exciting things that I want to get running, and so it's just really about grounding into that, the ideas, and really saying, okay, this is something that I really, really want to bring together. Like, my focus is really bringing people together right now. So let's see what the mermaids say. Feelings. Yep. And I already said that too, right? This week is all about that emotional healing, that emotional understanding of people that have manipulated or tried to control you, right? And that's really painful, because they've used your innocence, they've used your naivety, they've used your good nature and your good heart, and that hurts. So to really be able to rise above and understand the lessons that come, positivity, right? Being positive about it, you know? And really understanding this higher self perspective through your experiences. Love it. And then inner knowing. That's perfect. So feelings, positivity, and inner knowing, right? Like, you know what I'm talking about. Whatever comes up, the first thought for you that comes up when I say forgiveness, that's what you have to forgive. Okay, last one, guys. So White Light Oracle. Let's do it. We got one card here. I'm just gonna read all the cards real quick so that while I shuffle, but I gotta move everything around here so that we can get a quick little recap. All right, so we have grounding, forgiveness, patience, creativity, spontaneity, feelings, positivity, and inner knowing. Now, let's see one more card for this week just to see what we can pull through from the White Light Oracle. What does our light want to tell us? Oracle of Chaldea. Now, I think this is, oh no, it's not. I was going to say I thought it was the cover, but it's not. Okay, cool. I have no idea what that means, so I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to let you guys go. And I've had a really, really good time channeling information this week for you guys. Okay, 37. Okay. Continue on your healing journey with enthusiasm, but without forcing things to happen more quickly than feels natural. Sometimes the body will be ready to let go whilst the mind is still holding on. At other times, the mind may need to be patient as the body processes an experience. Trust in your own timing and rhythm. There's no need to be impatient or to judge yourself. You are summoning the spiritual fortitude to tackle an issue which has previously held you back. When the time is right, the healing shall happen more easily than if you tried to push forward prematurely. Things are going to work out. Be positive. That was a perfect way to end it. And I just really want to talk about how important that is real quick, guys. I did mention it, but I know I say a lot in this hour that if this energy right now is not the time for you to deal with something, but you know it's that you need to deal with it, it's okay. It's no problem. You're gonna get to it. Just know, like, sometimes being in that unconscious pattern is serving you. Okay? And so the more that you bring consciousness to that unconscious pattern, the more closely linked up with divine timing you'll be, right? Just trust. Be patient, connect to yourself. You're doing amazing, so amazing. And I just want to put out there too, I am open for one-on-one sessions. So if you're interested in diving a little bit deeper and you want to go deep with all these cards and really like for me to give you that one-on-one attention so we can process what it is that you need to process, I am honored and would totally love to hold that space for you. So the link is going to be below. I'll give you the link if you want to sign up for that. And yeah, I'm just really, really, really excited for all of us to step onto this fifth dimensional way of living because I'm so ready. I'm so ready to live in unity consciousness and for the highest good of all, for my heart space. There's a fly that just flew by, so that represents death, endings, and beginnings. So it's so perfect. All right, guys, sending you guys so much love. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you next week.